In this video, we're going to be talking about charts. We're going to be talking about how to make buttery smooth charts and how to make charts that make your dashboard stand out against the rest. Because currently there's only like two providers for the Dash framework as far as charts are concerned. You got what is the OG, Plotly graphs and charts. Pretty dang good. They are interactive. They started out and they kind of led into what is the Dash framework, and they work really well with it because, well, they're holding hands. The graphing library in Dash, they're like this. But then there was other charting providers kind of starting to show up. We have Dash Mantine Components, which has an array of different charts, and there've been a fair few other little charting, projects show up here and there, but they haven't been maintained. This one, I can argue, it has been maintained and cared for throughout what has been the, Dash development. But with that, I wanted to kind of throw my name in the hat, and I really fell in love with MUI. I think that MUI is honestly the most buttery smooth charts that you can find. A lot of it, it just changes the functionality of it. It's kind of similar to what is Dash Mantine Components in some of it. But in others, especially if you go for like their pro tier, because this is a paid for component. But this part specifically, there's nothing like it. I can't, the way that it does its timeline and how this charting provider and its props are able to function and work, this is a really good contender for what is trying to create something that is dynamic, that is capable. So with that, there's a lot of different, limited working examples in what is this documentation. And whenever you hover over something, as you can see, it's going to populate, and all of these are isolated to kind of give you what are these limited working examples. So with that, as I hover over something, a callback is being triggered to show what is the profit summary on hover. So whenever I hover over March, you can get an idea. But these are just focused limited working examples. And if you go to what is the LLMs.txt in this project, you can actually get the source code for everything included. Not only that, just one inclusion of an LLMs.txt from my project is not necessarily just showing, this content. It actually is able to network throughout all of the different, limited working examples and projects. So just to kind of give you some better ideas of like how this could be used, I did a lot of work in algorithmic trading, and I really liked how this one did its candle chart. And whenever you pair it with like, volume and other things, and you get the actual, like there were annotations and other factors considered in the prop selection for MUI charts. And it just allows, these to really work really well. So let's kind of get some more examples. I have a bunch over here. I also extended them out so that we can have similar to Dash Mantine Components, where if you go into its respective composite chart, this allows you to mix and match relative charts together, where you have an area chart, then at the top you have a line chart, and then you also have a bar chart, and they're all within what is this composite chart. So in a similar justification, I did, and I've included, and I have, advanced capability to allow, similar type of functionality where you're able to pair, multiple of these charts together and to create something that's a little bit more dynamic. So not only that, there are another, what I would consider a major component, which is underlooked a lot, but this is a very good tree component. I found this and it was inspired by Dash MUI charts, but I also did extend it out a little bit further. So in a lot of map making and in some of my projects, you'll see that I'm using this specific slider and selector within, being able to organize and group individual things. You can kind of as you can see, I just dragged that one up, but you can drag and drop these, which make them really useful. But then there's also this kebab at the back end of what is the tree to allow you quick actionable, actions in what is this component. And for the individual cells, which could be related to specific things on a canvas or more complex workflows as they get established. So this goes into what is my concept of, focus on the component first and establish what is, the tools for the work that you create rather than trying to rush towards what is an application. So with this, I've extended this even further. As you can kind of see, I have also brought in a clock component, as I thought that this, in regards of like setting up stopwatches and just being able to extend out, what is this functionality? These are all prop adjacent, so you can just change the props associated with the colors or the handle picker or any of these. Everything here is dynamic. So these are just some really great examples to kind of help you get started. So as you can see, I could get the current time. I can click on this and it'll start a stopwatch. But yeah, you can kind of mix and match, and you can set these up for different ways of being able to configure your dashboard to just be useful. We have a lot of other really great limited working examples in here. I know that we have some that are supposed to be rendering live charts and stuff. And then we also have like where they all align up at the same time. So you can have multiple charts layered on and stacked on top of each other, but they share the same hover point. So these are all like dynamic functionality that isn't directly shown on an individual level to the same degree as Plotly or Dash Mantine Components. This is MUI X Charts. Now, this is a paid for, and there are different tiers to what is this component. I'm not directly affiliated with them. I just genuinely like good work. And I support, indie developers, and this is a small project that is doing and it's creating really great components. But with that, some of them are free, some of them are paid, and at different tiers. So just be aware of that, and you might need a cross-reference in between what is the MUI chart documentation and the extended documentation within my own platform. So with that, I hope that this at least gives you, from a glance perspective, it is including like heat maps, scatter charts, line charts, pie charts. It's a range of just really useful charting capabilities. And what is, I would argue, the most buttery smooth component as far as a chart provider on the Dash open source framework. But with that, just give it a shot. Try it, compare it to what are the other current providers and charting libraries on Dash, and see if this one resonates. I think it might. But with that, thanks for watching, like, subscribe, and check out Dash MUI Charts